What's up? I am going to, I would say, do some maintenance on this axe, but this axe it's such in poor condition that maintenance would be an understatement. I'm going to try to refurbish it a little bit. This is more of a test. I have some nicer axes that I need to do maintenance on, and I want to start with something that I don't care if I mess up, I guess that's the idea. I got this nice duct tape. There's a name for it. It's like a head cover sort of thing. Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about. I'm gonna have to go get a knife for this, right? But we'll see. But yeah, so ideally, I clean up the handle, clean up the head, sharpen the blade. Maybe make a sheath, maybe add a hanger to it. We'll get there. Like I said, this is really just a test. This is not something I'm an expert in. I just like axes. I have a lot of axes, and I need to swing them more. And I would argue that a good thing to help me swing it more is if it is in good shape and actually is sharp and hits things. So we'll start with the handle. I got some sandpaper. So as you can see, the handle is probably not worth salvaging, but we'll find that out. I got some sandpaper. I'll start with some 80 grit that clearly goes on an orbital sander, but I'm gonna use my hand because screw that. And we'll see if there's any color in this thing. I assume I'm working through a little bit of dirt too, This was used. This isn't just damage from doing nothing. Yeah, I'm getting some stuff off of there. It's not going to be shiny new, but yeah, I don't know if I need a lower grit on this. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm getting something off. I don't know if it's worth treating this head super clean, but again, just a proof of concept, just to see. Alright, cool. I had a lower grit one. I had a 150 lower grit one. It's probably not worth doing, but same thing. We're just seeing what it does. 150 low grit. High grit. Alright. Like I said, I'm not going to overdo it. It's smooth. There's this huge splinter, but I'll figure out what I want to do with that. I would have to say it's unrecommended to swing an axe with a splinter this big. If I were asked what was a recommended thing, but that's what I would say. Alright, I want to put some linseed oil on the handle, but I also don't want to cover this in linseed oil right now. So let's look at the head. This is my nice rusty head right here. So we'll start. I have oil for the head. I'll start with some oh my gosh, some steel wool. Move this thing up a little bit. Yeah, just same thing. A lot of dirt, a lot of rust. Not from just sitting around, but from being used. But I got this guy in pretty bad shape, and I chopped wood with it, and I done basically no maintenance. Okay. So yeah, without getting too crazy, I clearly got some dirt off this thing. This is obviously a sad piece of steel wool that I had lying around, but you know, it's doing something. Alright, not bad, not bad. Okay, so I'm gonna give this thing a quick polish again. Probably not the proper word. We'll give it a quick rub down with some oil. See if it shines a little bit. I have some mineral oil. I have absolutely no idea how much I'm supposed to put on, so we're just going to go with what we feel is right. Man, trying to get comfy in this chair. Okay, alright. That's pretty crazy. I know it's just darker because of the oil, but like, I mean, that's the unoiled side, and that's the oiled side, and the oiled side looks almost loved. So, little oil is going a long way. Okay. I'll add some more oil, get a clean part of my cloth. Alright, yeah, so, like I said, a little steel wool and a little oil, all of a sudden the blade's looking pretty good. Maybe this guy will be worth keeping and just changing the handle out later. We'll see how it sharpens up, though. That'll be the big mystery, if you ask me, but, you know, for 2 seconds of work, it might be worth using. Alright, okay, alright, not so bad. So, now I'm going to make an attempt to sharpen it. That ain't going to happen sitting down, I'll tell you that much. So, get my sharpening stone, get some oil when I need it, and, oh my gosh, where do I want to be for this? I'm pretty sure this is the coarse side. Yep, so that's the coarse side. We start on the coarse side. Usually, I move the blade along the stone. I assume I'm going to keep doing that. There is a perfect angle here. I don't know what it is. Just kind of go with my gut. I'm not really applying any pressure to the blade. I don't know if you can see the little edge that's starting. Not really applying a lot of pressure to the blade, trying to let the, let the stone do the work. Just kind of grazing it over, trying to maintain the angle. Okay. Yeah, I could probably keep doing that for a little bit. Like I said, a little bit of blade going on right there. Do it a little bit longer. Alright, I'm blowing my nose. Fire's making that sound. Yeah, so you can see, obviously there's rust on the thing, so I'm getting rust on the sharpening stone, which is, expected. Yes, like I said, I'm getting an edge there. I'm going to try it this way, but I don't expect this to be it. Can I run this along? Yeah. As you can see, I'm not very good at it. It's doing something. I'm not sure if that's what I want to do. I'm going to try it for a little bit, though. Like I said, the angle's a lot harder when I'm moving the stone and not the blade. I feel like I'm really close here. Yeah, this huge chip right there. I still have to do something. Well, I don't have to fix the chip. That would be a small miracle for what I'm working with right now. But yeah, I'll change sides. Alright, this is where I'm going to falter, because I'm just going lefty. Okay. Could I do it with my right hand? No, we'll go lefty. Okay. Good to challenge yourself. Good to get outside your comfort zone. Okay, this is how I do it righty. Hands right there. Hand in the same spot. I'm going to move this a little. Oh, look, I got the oil out and I don't think I used it at all. So that's good. Yeah, whatever. We'll get there. Alright. Hand in almost the same spot. All you people who are ambidextrous out there. Now with this I'm putting a little more pressure into the axe, but I really think it's just to stable my left hand. No other reason. Yeah, I'm getting something going here. Okay, so I'm going to keep working on this side. I also feel like my stroke is a little longer on this side. Probably because my reps are less consistent. Okay. This is something's happening. So it almost looks like I'm going around the bevel a little bit better with my left hand. I don't need this much bevel, but you know, more than this insignificant amount that I was getting on the other side. So I'm going to try something similar with the right hand, see if I can get a similar bevel going. Maybe I'm missing the edge a little bit. You know, we really don't want to sharpen the bevel, we're just trying to sharpen the tip. So maybe I'm just worse on the left side. But I like it clean, it's a nice look, you know? Alright, yeah, that did it. That little flick of the wrist. And a little more up there. Okay. Go back to the left side. I don't think I'm not that far off, but a little bit more. Move this up. The last couple of reps looked atrocious. Okay. I'm going to take my... Oh, yeah, we're getting a lot off. I'm going to hit that with the rag. Okay, I'm going to get a little oil, hit it with the rag. See what it looks like. Okay, so that's the right hand side. That's the left hand side. Is there enough oil in this? Keep going. Okay. Okay. I'm going to take my glove off, see if I can feel an edge. I don't know if I will, but you know, you never know. Oh yeah, there's something there. Something there. It's not nothing. You know, a lot of axes, while it's nice to be sharp, you know, a lot of it comes from the weight and the wedge. This axe looks like it has a pretty, oh baby, here's where I'm going to sound like an idiot, a pretty thin bevel, you know, a thin wedge. So usually those you want to be sharper, because you do want to do some piercing. Okay, flip it to the fine side, fine grit side, get my gloves back on. Alright, let's see. So this is only for the edge. So I'm really gonna... it's doing something. It's really tough to tell. I'll do one more round of this help with. Okay, let's try lefty now. Okay, focus on the edge. One more round. Okay. All right. Go with this rag one more time. I don't think I need more oil, but okay. Take my gloves off. Let's see if there's an edge. Yeah, there's an edge. There's an edge. Definitely not on the not where the chip is, but you know, every guy who sharpens their knife is always like, "Will it cut my hair?" This one sure ain't gonna cut my hair, but that's okay. That's not usually the point of the axe. It looks good. It's got an edge now. I felt it there. Let me see if I can see. Yeah, I think some spots I got the edge decently, and in other spots I could use a little more work. But you know, this is just the test, just to prove something. Okay, so now move this guy out of the way, and I will now see what this handle will turn into. So, like I said, I didn't do a big sand job. There's no splinters, you know, barehanded. That's fine. But I'm just going to put some linseed oil, give it some color, seal it up. You know, this was probably sealed when it was originally, you know, sold, manufactured, whatever. Not that I could tell you how old this is. You know, I got this secondhand anyway. So, I'll just apply some linseed oil to the rag, as we do. Yeah, it's mostly just getting darker, which is fine, you know. You weren't expecting like a total overhaul. I'm sure if I had a real like orbital sander or something, it would look more like new. Or if I got some, you know, higher coarse sandpaper, it would probably look more like new. But, you know, for what it is, we'll see how much this soaks in. Again, this wasn't really for some big transformation. I'm just trying to get this thing in slightly better shape and prove that I'll do it to my nicer ones. Okay. But yeah, I bet this handle would look really good if I was more serious about sanding. Okay, so that's gonna need a second to dry, and by a second, probably minutes. You know, linseed oil's all over my hands now. Put the cap back on. Okay. So, here's where we're gonna get creative. I want to just take these off because they're covered in oil, but let me see if I can just get it off on the rag. Maybe. Okay. Here's where, and maybe I'm gonna have to swap sides. I'm just not trying to put it right in my pile of metal shavings and rust. Here's where we're getting creative. So I'd really like to make a little, you know, I'll call it a sheath. Who knows what it's supposed to be called? A little sheath for the head. You know. Doesn't need to be that deep. Does need to be symmetrical. So maybe I do draw it on the outside and then fold it. No, I'll do it like this and fold it. Okay. So. I actually don't think that's wide enough. I just have this scrap piece of leather. Trying to see if I can make that work. Okay. That should be good. I gotta get a utensil, a writing utensil, not a eating utensil. We'll just go with a Sharpie. I don't want to fight to see this thing. Basically, it's overlapped. Okay. So what I'm thinking is, I outline my blade. I fold this thing over, cut it how I want it. I sew up the top and bottom. I could sew up the whole thing if that's necessary, and then I basically put a strap to hold down here. So we'll see how that works. So I gotta get my little board so I don't cut my table. Table's getting pretty busy. Okay, so. Look at that. Ooh, perfect. So we'll just start cutting our scrap leather. Okay. Fold this thing in half. So I do have this like pizza style cutter with a retractable blade. I don't know if that's more or less accurate. We'll find out right now. I guess it's going about a 1/4 inch wider than my outline. I got rid of my fold, so that's gone. Because we're not folding it. Because I will be sewing it like I said. And now it's fighting me. Okay, give me a sec. This guy off, I'm going through. I guess I should have just cut the one off and then just outline that, and you know, but here we are. We're in this. We're in this as we are. Alright, so that's it, you know, I got two sides. Just go over my axe blade. Okay. So. I guess it's not perfect. I'll just square this up, I guess, with the pizza cutter guy. This is made for leather. It's just it's fun. It looks fun. Cool. All right. It's probably the loudest thing I do, which is make the holes in it. I know I grabbed my leather punch. There it is. Basically, I'm going to make a hole at the bottom. I'm going to make one at the corner. Make a couple along the way. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to do it right here, if I'm going to go to the other room, but try right here and I'll figure that part out. I'm going to keep them overlapped, see if that will do me good or not. Okay. I'm a little close to the edge, but like I said, just a test, just figuring out what works and what doesn't work, and going from there. I'm the kind of guy that does minimal research. Make a plan. If it makes some sense, roll with the plan. If it makes no sense, figure that out later. I learn by doing and failing and trying again. Alright, well, clearly I did not go through 2 on all of these. I barely made it through 1 on some of these, but redo this one. I could probably take my gloves off now. We're not dealing with oils right now. I could probably afford to take these out. Okay. Okay, you can kind of see, basic. And here's the mystery, whether I can, well, I got some marks on the other side, but they're certainly not holes. Get them a little close. Yeah, it's probably would have gotten a little smoother, but I like that I have marks. A little smoother if I did one side at a time, but I like the marks. The marks are making this even easier to line up. Okay, almost through all of them. This is funny. This guy just fills up with little leather holes. Little leather holes. It makes perfect sense. They gotta go somewhere. Alright, so I got my 2 sides. And I got my sinew over here. So I shouldn't need the mallet. I shouldn't need the punch. They will not be a perfect lineup, but they'll be close. We'll get there when we get there. Okay. So, plan for the sinew. I don't know how to do the sleeve on the back yet. So, I gotta leave a loop on one end and tie it. So, I'm gonna pull one that's already made. A purchased one. I didn't make it. Okay, so the way this one works, the slip knot goes through the middle piece. So I can put the slip knot through there. That'd be fine. It's just 4 holes. Yeah, so I don't have to worry about it. I'll just tie these guys together. I'll just get what looks like enough. That looks like enough. I will just start threading it 1 hole at a time. So with this type of, oh yeah, I gotta cut it. That ain't gonna work. Usually with this type of sewing, and I haven't done this in a bit, you try to tighten it as you go. So you gotta pull the whole thing, and you're supposed to like back loop it. I haven't done this in a little bit. You're supposed to like feed this tail end back through, and like tie a little knot here. Yeah, tie a little knot. Probably double knot it just to be extra sure. Do not. Yeah. And then you just kind of sew it as you go, but you only go one direction. And that keeps it tight. So, can I do this first one? One direction. Okay, yeah. So we come, even though it came out the top, we're going to go at the bottom. Okay. See, so it kind of like tightens up as I go. And then I go to the next one. Oh, come on. Okay, so I won't go too tight, but you can see the sort of effect. Alright, first hole that isn't going to line up is this one. Oh no, I finally lost a piece. Okay. The head of my sinew finally broke apart. Let's see if that's a problem as we go. Oh yeah, it's looking rough. I might have to recut the end. That's fine. That's why I like to cut it long. So I can do what I gotta do. I'm gonna cut this end so I'm not fighting this. Okay. And then I will do it on the other side, loop it through, and make a knot. Okay. So pull that in to keep it tight. Through. Probably gone through twice. One more time. Okay. Through. Okay. Cool. So that's pretty tight. You know, I'll leave like an inch because I always make a mistake. I hate to I have to redo it. Okay, again, just a proof of concept. Okay, so. Okay, this guy's already pretty dry. It's not so bad. Okay, okay. So here's our little sheath. Fits pretty snug. Again, like, this is no perfectionist. This is simply just a proof of concept. It's pretty snug right there. So let's see if I can do the holder on this now. So 2 holes. One in front, one in back. Got my hole punch. Alright, I gotta get some water. Okay, hole 1. Just kind of split the difference here for hole 2. Cool, that's 2 holes. Alright, so the center doesn't have to be too long, but it's got to fit around this guy. So the idea being, this is on, and I want to tighten this on the back side. Maybe this is long enough. This is the piece I cut off earlier. We're going to see if it's long enough. I hope it is. So I'll do the same thing I did. I'll make a knot here. I'll loop it through. Okay. So I'm going to go out and back and back. Okay. No. Tighten something up, maybe? No? Probably need one more knot here. Yeah. We'll start with. And then this side needs to be loose with a knot. So we will just go. Apparently my batteries are done charging and they make a beep sound. Good to know. Okay. Now I'm just going to make a real hulking knot on this back end. I have a smaller head for this leather punch. Maybe that's the time I should have used it, but we live, we learn. I'm doing the dummy knot, which is my favorite knot. Maybe not my favorite knot, but you know, I'm not trying to rip this thing through, but you know, basic, simple. So the idea being you can put it on. No! I made it just too small. Alright. Where do I put it on first? This is not convenient. This is not. Oh my gosh. Alright. Ay. I'm just gonna have to redo this. This one ain't gonna work. Good thing I didn't make this not too crazy. Okay. I literally needed like 1 inch longer than this. Maybe 2 inches, obviously. We're not trying to cut it that close, but it was close. We almost had it. And we went a bunch more inches. Because you can always make it shorter. Okay. Round want to. Okay. Nope, we're just going to do the exact same thing. I'm not going to overthink it. Not going to overthink it. It's just a proof of concept. Alright, we're trying to make a dummy knot in my little loop. Nice. I would say it's sturdier, okay? And then we go in and out. And we make a really big dummy knot. Oh, look, I'm a couple inches down. Watch this be mistake number 2. Okay. Is it longer? I hope so. So, we put the head in. Oh my gosh. I clearly don't know how to use my hands. We put the head in. We stick it on. And I pull it tight. Okay, cool. Hey, it's something. I'll tell you right now. That's it does something, you know? Keeps the blade protected, keeps my hands protected. It's not slipping off, you know? Even though this isn't on with anything interesting. Okay, cool. Cool. And then I was gonna put a hanger on this thing. Oh my gosh. I was gonna put a hanger on this thing, but I haven't found my drill bits yet. So I'll probably pause this thing and go find my drill bits. Because they could be literally anywhere and then come back. I probably didn't have to pause the video. I found the drill bit very quickly. Alright, I didn't make a setup for this. Yeah, clearly, because I didn't have the drill bit. This I've also just never done before, but you know, some of my other axes have little hangers on them, and I like it. It makes it very convenient, so we are gonna try to replicate that. So, basically, let me get one that has a hole. Not that I think I need to show you guys what a hole looks like. But you know, it's got a little hole. You know, put a little strap on it, put on a nail, something simple. I'm probably gonna put the piece of sinew will probably be in the way. But I also really like the idea. I'm trying to think, is that a problem? I'm trying to like, you really don't take the bottom hand off the axe. I'm gonna put some sinew through. I think that'll be fine. Alright, this one, again, couldn't even tell you. I'll get my safety glasses. I'm a good boy who wears safety glasses. Got enough stuff in my eye so far in my life. Alright. Just gonna go dead center in the meat here. Like I said, I don't really care about this guy. Alright, and that's a hole, for sure. If you're a contractor or handy, you can feel free to tell me that I just used an impact for the job of the drill, and I will sleep perfectly fine at night. So don't you worry. Don't you worry at all. Okay. I think we're good with this board. What are we doing in our... Alright, yeah, and then I'm just gonna like string the center up and we'll call it an X. Ooh, can I use the piece from earlier? Was it all worth it in the end? I think it's long enough. I think that'll work. Okay, I need to make a loop, right? Which means I need to make a square knot. Go once over, or once under, should I say? And once over, and that's it. That's your square knot right there. Or something close to a square knot. Basically, if you do a square knot right, which I'm not claiming I did, as the string tightens, the knot tightens. But anyway, oh yeah, that's about how that goes. It didn't break. I'm just a klutz. Don't you worry. But I can support the whole weight of the axe on this thing, so that's good. Yeah, I just my finger just hit the huge splinter in there, so naturally I dropped the axe. So I'm not going to deal with this huge splinter today. I'll tell you that much. But you know, that's something. I would say all those techniques did what they were supposed to do. I'm gonna go hang this up right here. Maybe I gotta work on this thing because it's pointing blade out. But I guess that's why we made the sheath. I don't necessarily want to point a blade in. I guess blade in doesn't look bad. It's something. Like I said, it hangs. It's out of the way. Alright, that was it. That was axe number 1. Just testing some methods. I think they were all pretty successful. That's yep. That's what I got. Bye. Alright, here's the thing. I really want to swing this thing, and the splinter's gonna bother me. So, out of absolute laziness on what I have, I'm gonna super glue this thing. I would say we should use something like wood glue, but I'm going to use what we got, which is super glue. Super glue is not known to hold up, under shock. So this is far from the best nor recommended method. But I just don't want there to be a massive splinter in this thing, so I'm going to hit this with some super glue. Okay, and then I'm going to close the splinter up. Got some on my finger, because that's not how you're supposed to use super glue. And then I'm going to use electrical tape. Actually, maybe I don't even need electrical tape. Maybe it'll just hold. It will not just hold. So we use some electrical tape. Because it's what we have. There is no recommendation on this whatsoever. I just want this splinter to not be sticking out. Good thing we oiled this, now the electrical tape doesn't stick. Okay. So, theoretically, there's no splinter right now. I could probably swing it exactly how it is, to be honest with you. Yeah, now there's no splinter. Okay, that's all. Couldn't help myself. Couldn't walk away. I'm probably swinging this axe, to be honest with you.